Hi everyone, I'm today in the city of Brussels or Bruxelles, and I'm going to talk about a character which is very dear to my heart, and that's Tintin, or as we call it in Persian or in French, Tintin. Now, when I was a child, when I was a teenager, the Tintin books was one of my favorite books, but it was out of publication in Iran. So to get these books, what I had to do is with my mom, we had to go to second-hand bookshops, sometimes in very dodgy places, and find those older second-hand Tintin books and buy them. I absolutely loved and enjoyed these books. And one of the reasons is this guy, that's Hergé, who was the creator of Tintin. Back in the days, many years ago, in the early 20th century, in this city, in Brussels, in Belgium. Now, Hergé was an absolute genius. Each of the Tintin books, there's about 22 or 24 of them, depending on how you count, took 1 to 2 years to write and to design. And he also had a team. It was not just himself. He was doing the most of the work, but he had a lot of helping hands. Now, the amount of research that this guy Hergé would do to get these books and to get these books right and get them perfect was crazy. He would go to extreme depths to do research about the cultures and the characters and the things that he would depict in the books. As a child, when reading these books, I learned so much about various cultures, various mythologies of the different cultures, and the different countries and the different people of different countries. It was for me like a world tour, sitting in my home as a teenager and reading these books, learning about various countries, learning about China, learning about Egypt, learning about Eastern Europe and Tibet, South America, Peru, and about a lot of detailed things about their culture, about their clothing, about their food, and everything that they had. One of my favorite Tintin books ever was Destination Moon, or Exploring the Moon. You can see this rocket here. This was the one that took Tintin to the moon. And it's very interesting because in this book, what Hergé depicted, especially in the technologies that were used to take Tintin to the moon, was what actually later on became the reality. This was years before we went to the moon. But when we went to the moon, everything looked so similar to what Hergé depicted. So he was kind of seeing the future. He was a visionary in that sense. So for example, the spacesuit that Tintin wore when they went to the moon was really close to the actual spacesuit that was created by NASA. Or the launch platform that helped launch this rocket was very similar to the launch platform that that NASA used to launch the rockets, Saturn V rockets. Or another really interesting one is when Tintin is in the moon and he's looking in a cave, he falls into a cave, he finds ice, water ice. And what actually turned out to be is many years later, scientists figure out that there is actually ice on moon, in the polar caps on the moon. So it's really interesting because the amount of research that this guy would do would help him figure out things which later on turned out to be true. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this video.